Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashir, B'kakodash. I'm going to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel, brother, of the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will to be edifying. It says IRS looking to hire an army of new armed agents spanning all 50 states. Okay, all 50 states. Now, we've told you time and time again from the apostles on down that Satan is getting ready to come down to great wrath. And this is just not talking about at one particular time. This is talking about in general for the time we're getting ready to enter into, known as Jacob's trouble. And there's going to be a plethora of events of draconian laws. They're going to be utilized in order to oppress the people, mainly you Jakes, you Israelites, you Negro, Latino, Native American, okay, and to pretty much subjugate you until the plans of this new world order and ultimately kill you off, okay? That's going to be the plan of the new world order, to kill off our people, you know? I know Apostle Gabar was going into it. I was watching a video, a couple of minutes of the video he did, I believe, of like about a week ago, going into this information slightly. And, he brought out some interesting points. It's like your shit. But he made some interesting points on how Esau Edom is going to use his police force or his military, his various police groups to pretty much circumvent this place and to bring judgment on our people, because judgment on our people from the left-hand side through this devil is the judgment of the Heavenly Father. Okay, and we know that Esau Edom works for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai on the left-hand side. Okay, so this is natural news. Okay, they have some pretty good articles. A lot of times they're on point. The information is accurate so far from what I've came across, and you got a lot of insiders out there. But I'm gonna read it, and it says, after Democrats rammed through the latest massive spending package earlier this year, containing tens of billions of dollars for 87,000 or more IRS agents, the agency is not wasting any time going on a hiring binge, okay? And you notice, like, all of a sudden they doing these random ass audits. Like, I got some shit in the mail a couple of months ago from 2018, and on my mind, I swore up and down I filed 2018, and the money I did owe, I paid that off, okay? They took it within the next return. So, I'm like, how the hell do I owe you people money? I don't owe you shit, but the system is corrupt, man. But it says, and it's not one that will make Americans feel warm and fuzzy inside, because the Lord has his judgment set towards Babylon the Great. Okay, he has his judgments, he has his anger with this place. And you Americans, man, you Edomites mainly, and 2/3 of our people are going to be at the end of the Lord's wrath, man. Okay, you're going to be the primary recipient of the Lord's wrath. And this is why you're seeing these corporations come together to bring pacts and coups against the people. You see? So it says here, the Criminal Investigation Division of the Internal Revenue Service, which is the IRS, have posted job openings for special agents who carry guns and make arrests in all 50 states. But wait a minute, you got to ask yourself this. Wait a minute, if this is a tax place or a place that accepted taxes and audits and all that other shit, why in the hell would they need armed police? Well, because you have to understand that this is an unrighteous corporation. Okay, America is full of unrighteous decrees. In many ways, you can blame the American people because they allowed their government to be hijacked by these bankers, man, these wicked elites, as the Apostle Gabar say, the wicked elites of Esau society. Because this is exactly what this is, because anybody knows, or half a brain knows, that the IRS is a legal entity operating outside of the jurisdiction of the United States of America. And they have no right, no right to your money. They have no right to charge you any debt. They have no right to bang on your doors and kick your doors down and put guns in your face. But according to this article, this seems like this is what the case is going to be. It says, has posted openings for special agents who can carry guns and make arrests in all 50 states. How can a private corporation arrest you especially when you're not committing a crime. Like, since when being behind on your taxes or not paying taxes is a fucking crime? Okay, according to, I mean, the scriptures do say render to Caesar what Caesar's, but that's not a righteous law. Though Yahweh Shai told us to uphold it, because right now we ain't, we're not in our setup, we're not in our kingdom. But do you think in our kingdom we gonna fucking pay income tax? Hell no, man. Okay, which is basically a tributary to the Roman government or to the American government. We're basically paying tribute, and if we don't pay it, then they can fine us, penalize us, and arrest us. Like what happened to Wesley Snipes. I believe he was like $300 something thousand he owed the IRS, and they locked his ass up for a couple of years. Well, that's unrighteous because it's no law stating you have to pay your income tax. But Esau, through the color of law, he's able to get away with these illegal amendments. And the American people, they're so stupid to the point they allowed their government to be hijacked by the elites. Like in France and shit like that. I mean, yeah, they protesting pension reform and all this other stuff, but those people would stand up for the injustices that's being done to them by crooked ass corporations, man. But you Americans, as long as you got hot dogs and beer in an NFL draft, then you okay with that, But it says IRS has posted job openings for agents who can carry guns and make arrests in all 50 states. It says the CI division is responsible for investigating financial crimes, money laundering, tax-related identity theft, and terrorist financing. Fox Business reported this week, so this is mainstream. Okay, terrorist financing. Who the fuck over here in America is gonna do some craziness like that outside of the corporation of this place? Money laundering, financial crimes, which everything is getting ready to go digital, so it makes sense that they have access to everything. That's how they gonna notice stuff. But it says special agents within the division are authorized by law to carry and use firearms, making them the only IRS employees with this authority. It says the available positions are located throughout the United States. But it says under the job posting major duties section, the agency says that special agents carry a firearm must be prepared to protect him and herself or others from physical attacks at any time without warning and use firearms in life-threatening situations. You know why they doing that? Because they know that a lot of people is going to buck up against this. Okay, this is really for you good old boys out there that, that love the Constitution, that, like to go against your governments and so forth. This is for you, So you better believe you're going to have a lot of unstable individuals that's applying for this job, man. Cops even transferring over to take this position to be justified on being on some Gestapo type stuff. It says attacks at any time without warning and use firearms in life-threatening situations and must be willing to use force up to including the use of deadly force, man. See? Basically, this is nothing but another police force. But it says, in addition, the IRS CI special agents must be willing and able to participate in arrests, execution of search warrants, and other dangerous assignments. See how that's going to work. It says the posting goes on to note that special agents are required to maintain a level of fitness necessary to effectively respond to life-threatening situations on a job. And we know most people in America, they ain't really, they're not really in shape like that. But nonetheless, this is basically a position that, look, man, we're going after your taxes, whether you like it or not, and we're going to put you down if you don't like it. So this is the book of Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. But woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. Okay, so this is part of the wrath that Esau, Edom is coming down upon. Okay, and it's going to start with you tribes, man, because we know a lot of you Israelites, man, you don't really pay your taxes. You don't file your tax returns. Sometimes you late, sometimes you forget. It happens to us all. But lately, man, things have just been hard to really catch up on. Debt hitting you in the face, and they'll use those particular antics to be justified on rolling on you and throwing you in jail. Because that's really what they want to do. They want to throw you in jail, man. You know what I'm saying? They want to throw you in jail, and they want to bound you by draconian measures. Okay, that's why it says he should come down with great wrath, having great wrath because he knows he have a short time. And when we say great, that's exactly what we mean, and there's no cap in that. Okay, that's not an exaggeration of great wrath. When the scriptures put emphasis on certain words, you better believe it. Okay, because if it wasn't that deep, the Lord just would have said the devil's getting ready to come down with wrath, because he know we had a short time, but it says great wrath, because he's already coming down with wrath on us, but great wrath. So times this times 100,000. You know what I'm saying? Because literally it's going to be fighting in the streets, gunshots, okay, chaos erupting in these cities, people being escorted to detention centers to get fitted for that microscopic tag, and the list goes on, man. And on top of that, a witch hunt for the men of the Lord. Because with these particular Gestapo force, they're able to flush and weed out who's speaking against this NWO. And they know who's doing it because they have access to the videos. You know what I'm saying? We're not hiding you or anything like that. We're actually speaking on open platforms. But you could say is really, in a book, is incriminating because, you know what I'm saying, we're blatantly speaking out and telling them that their society is going down. But we ain't doing anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing anything wicked. We're not taking up arms against the government. You know, we're not provoking or inciting riots and none of this other stuff. But according to Esau, he consider us treasonous. All right? So this is the scriptures, man. That's why, hey, you jakes in this thing, man, or the ones that's playing games, you better get serious and quick. Okay? Because it says here, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord and put off, and it says, and put not off from day to day. Like you got them jakes, yeah, man, that's cool. I'm gonna come back and but you know I got this business to run, or you know one of them NBA celebrity jakes, they so caught up in the luxury of America to the point they hear the truth and it moves them, but it doesn't compel them to make an instant move. So what happens is they put it off until they can't put it off no more, and either it's too late or the Lord jack them up, you know. But that's why it says, put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. And what's the wrath of the Lord? Esau, Edom, the sword. Okay, and it says, in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance, man. Okay, and we know, according to the scriptures, the wrath of the Heavenly Father, or the sword of the Lord, is this devil. Okay, according to the book of Psalms. Psalms, the 17th chapter. And I'm going to start at verses 13. Matter of fact, let's start at verses 12. It says, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. But arise, O Yahweh, and disappoint him, and cast him down, and deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay, so this is the left hand of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, the sword of the Lord, the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Okay, if that isn't plain enough, then I don't know what to tell you. All right, but it says applicants must fulfill several additional eligibility criteria, such as holding a U.S. citizenship, being between 21 when completing their training academy and 37 at the time of appointment. But moreover, prospective special agents in the IRS Criminal Investigation Division are required to clear pre-employment medical and tax exams, as well as drug tests, and must be legally authorized to possess firearms. And the Financial News outlet reported further. But this show you, why do the IRS need a criminal task force? I mean, the people they should be hunting down is themselves. Okay? That crooked organization, Title 4D. You know what I'm saying? Your governments. You think the presidents are paying taxes like they claim? Fuck no, they not. They're not giving tribute into themselves. For what? They ain't got to. They got it already. What about the elites? You know, the Rothschilds. Why they're not paying taxes? Because they're above the shit, because they set up this wicked corporation called the Internal Revenue Service. And honestly speaking, these are some of the worst people you can ever meet. And we're not talking about from a customer service representative level, because a lot of times them people in that corporation or that institution, they don't really know what's going on in them. They just doing what they're told to do. They don't know the deep, dark secrets which harbor from the top. Okay, but you can look up something called the setting up of the Federal Reserve, doing the island of Jekyll Island, Slovakia. I'm talking Jekyll Hyde. Just woke up from a nap, by the way, Slovakia, so I ain't all the way there. But from the Jekyll Island in 1913, when those bankers and so forth all came from different parts of the world to set up this whole Federal Reserve nonsense. And it was already concocted from then that the tale of two world wars were going to be I won't say fabricated, but forged on the people to be justified on pushing the U.S. currency as the dominating currency of the world. That happened at the latter half of World War II. After World War II, the dollar became the primary currency of the world. The currency of the world, I say it that way. And there's rumors behind 1913 as to why the Titanic sunk. Allegedly, there was a lot of important people on that ship that was coming over here to protest this establishing of the Fed, because they knew it was going to be slavery for humanity, and they knew that it was pretty much a bunch of wickedness. So a lot of these guys, like I believe some people from J.P. Morgan and a lot of these other bankers, these moguls and so forth, which they were all wicked anyway, but a lot of them was coming to protest and to kind of put a stop to it. And allegedly the ship was pretty much sinking. It was sabotage. So the whole tale of the iceberg and all this other nonsense, that's kind of like smoke and mirrors now. Some people say that the ship was on fire 6 days, 5 to 6 days. One of the hulls were being destroyed, and that the captain deliberately ignored warnings to penetrate through ice fields in North Atlantic and sabotage the ship by hitting the iceberg. Some people speculate Leviathan swallowed it or sank it. Some people believe that it was blown up. But regardless, it was some nefarious activities going on with the Titanic, man. I just say it that way because it was a book written in 1898 called The Destruction of Titan or something like that. And coincidentally, a ship or a ocean liner that resembles Titanic to the T, it came to pass like in that book. So obviously somebody had something going on because the ship and ocean liners look like that a lot of times in the 1800s, early 1900s. There was a similar design, but the ship was called Titan. And in the book, it actually sank because it hit an iceberg. And allegedly, this is the same story that allegedly happened in real life, which don't make sense to me because it's just like, okay, you mean to tell me that a book predicted a disaster, or was it some type of some foul play going on there? And I go for the latter, the foul play. Which in the world of these devils, man, you just never know. But nonetheless, they was coming to come against this, what we're reading, before it got this far. Because they knew that this was going to be a stamp hold on the rest of the world, so to speak, the Western world. But it says the IRS began accepting applications for the special agent role in mid-February. And the job posting will remain open through the end of the year. It says the post lists 360 vacancies in 249 locations across the country, with at least one position available in each state. It says the salary range from the role is between $52,921 and $94,228 annually. And also the IRS faced criticism last year when a similar posting went live amid debate of Congress over Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act, which included $80 billion in increasing funding for the IRS over a decade, much of which was intended to help the agency crack down on tax evasion. So basically, you ain't paying your taxes. They want to fuck with you, man. Okay? It says, according to the group Americans for Tax Reform, which generally oppose all tax increases. So these are the openings, man, they have. Wow. And you notice a lot of these look like they're, I guess they're red and blue states. Red states, you got 20 in Texas, 18 sites in Cali, 13 in Florida, 9 in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Illinois, 8 in Ohio, 7 each in Tennessee, Michigan, New Jersey, Maryland, 6 sites in Massachusetts, Missouri, Indiana. So basically, all the states are pretty much hiring for the most part. Okay, but in order to carry or use an IRS-owned weapon, and remember, DHS was purchasing all the ammo years ago, man. I think this was like 2013, 2014. It said DHS bought over $1.3 billion in ammo or something like that. It's a while ago, but it says agents must engage in handgun firing training at least once each quarter and shoot at least the minimum of 75% points of the firearm qualifying tests using the issued handgun during a non-consecutive quarters. Participating in biannual firearm building entry exercises. Wow. And participate in an annual briefing on firearm safety and security policies. Wow. So, yeah. Discharging fire from a moving vehicle. This shit getting ready to get real, man. This is the start of it here. Because let's just say that because IRS make mistakes all the time, man. I mean, sometimes people get notices in the mail and say they owe this and that and they don't owe shit. But a lot of times Esau, he don't give a damn. He don't research it. Your name comes up in the database. It's like almost putting a bounty on somebody, man. You know. But we've been telling you, tribes, man, this devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath, man. But everybody looked at us like we was tripping. Nah, man, y'all tripping. That ain't gonna happen, okay? All right. Well, this is the book of Luke, 19, and I'm gonna start at verses. Shit, man, I lost it. My bad, brother. Salakia. I guess I just woke up, man. Bear with me. I ain't really used to taking naps, but I don't feel too good when I get up from naps because I'm not used to taking it. I just feel like this is throw the whole day off. Luke 19 and 41. I was in the right chapter. Oh. So this is the book of Luke 19. And I'm going to start at verses 41. It says, when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying, if thou hast known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thy eyes, and from the days shall come upon thee, that thy enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation, man. Okay? We go into Luke 21 and 25. Okay? It goes into 70 AD, which Yahushua was telling about. He's foretelling that event. Okay? It's what they call the Masala period, or the Flavian dynasty, when Titus Vespasian and Titus Vespasian and Domitian Caesars, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much ransacked Jerusalem, which is going into the Jewish wars. You can read about that in Josephus. But some great history to get into. But nonetheless, this is to occur another time in this time, because we know history repeats itself. Okay, scripture is duality. Okay, Luke 21, and I'm going to start at 20. It says, when ye should see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. And then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto, which this is going into 70 AD. But it's going to happen again. But this time you ain't going to be able to flee into the wilderness, man. Okay? The mountains and the wilderness. Okay? Because that word mountains and wilderness is pretty much synonymous with each other, because when you go into Revelation, the 12th chapter, when it goes that the woman was carried away into the wilderness, that's going into us, going into the western coast of Africa, man. Okay, and fleeing from persecution. Because Africa, before we built it up, it was nothing but pretty much a wilderness in that respective aspect of the land before we came to America. But we built up, just like during the time of the Dark Ages, when the tribes started to come up in power. Around the same time, you know, you had Mali and these different empires that were risen by Jake. And that's when you had what they call Kedah or Waida, which is Judah, you know, Fort Benjamin, etc. It goes into the time when we was raising up those kingdoms. When it says she should be nourished from times, and should be nourished for a time. But the enemy came after her like a flood, roughly paraphrasing it. Revelation 12, we all know it. But it says, let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there should be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. Okay, and it's the point. Yahweh Yahushua is getting ready to bring the judgment on the soils of America, man, starting with you tribes first. So I'm going to end it there. Giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Yahushua. And with that, shalom and a ball.